DevOps is dead. Software engineering is dead. Platform engineering is dead. SRE is dead. AI is taking over everyone's jobs. This is all you hear online. AI is coming to steal your jobs. AI stealing jobs should be a new narrative for the something. Actually, let's not get political. You're gonna cancel me. AI is starting to sound more like far-right language that is being used. Oh, get AI out my bloody country, mate. It's stealing all my jobs. But the truth is, what is actually going on with AI? And I feel like I'm somewhat qualified to have an opinion on it as someone that has worked as an MLOps engineer, and that stands for machine learning operations. I've actually seen AI and its capabilities and the effort that it takes in order for it to actually do what people perceive as magic right behind the scenes. Now, number one, what has AI actually impacted and what is it actually good at? Definitely for certain roles that require very basic input, right? So junior developer roles and things like that are starting to become less in demand because you can utilize AI. Now, it doesn't mean they're replacing a junior with $2,000 or $3,000 worth of Claude credits. That isn't what is happening, but it is actually making engineers efficient when it comes to those low level tasks. So of course, to some degree, it has impacted the junior market for those typical developer roles like JavaScript developer, Python, front end, these sort of roles. However, for the most part, it has actually changed roles rather than directly replace them. So for example, with the DevOps space or platform space, you now need to be familiar with hosting infrastructure for AI, be it hosting LLMs using things like Triton or VLLMs and diving more into MLOps, or actually implementing AI in certain companies, which is where that burst in demand has appeared for forward deployed engineer roles, even across companies like Google, Anthropic, and many others. Now, I'm not saying that AI hasn't impacted the job market in a negative way. That would just be delusional. However, the fear-mongering that currently exists is due to a lack of understanding of AI and its capabilities, and it's just a bunch of speculation rather than what AI is actually currently doing at this moment in time. I think the biggest gap that is actually being created is a skills gap. If people don't know how to actually utilize AI, they've now become significantly less valuable than another person that does. And this is actually something that I look for even when hiring for non-technical related roles within my startup. I actually look for people's competencies when it comes to utilizing tools like Claude, their familiarity with skills, their familiarity with MCP servers. This is something that can enable someone that has a standard administrative role. They just become so much more efficient. If you're not using AI in order to make yourself more efficient or think about automating repetitive tasks and taking yourself out the loop, well, yes, you are being replaced. But due to the lack of skills that you now have versus actually an AI tool that is doing your exact same job. And the fear mongering when it comes to the AI bubble is quite interesting. It's super directed towards software engineers and people that are actually working closer to AI rather than people that might have standard roles like receptionists and these sort of roles that can actually be replaced quite easily. There's a lot of AI code calling tools that now exist, or AI phone handlers that are starting to develop, and these things actually directly replace individuals versus just making engineers more efficient and there being less place for engineers that aren't able to contribute meaningfully to companies. Now, anyone that can definitively say that AI is going to replace X sector of jobs within the tech space is probably being disingenuous to some degree, because if you actually talk to leading AI engineers or ML engineers in the space, they wouldn't even give you a definitive answer when it comes to these sort of speculations. So before that friend of yours that has never coded a day in his life pushes a narrative to you that you shouldn't be focusing on the tech space because AI is replacing everything, actually talk to experts, actually talk to industry leaders. And no, I'm not talking about those that have a bias towards the outcome of AI because of their SaaS product or because of what company they're in, but just normal day-to-day engineers. That is the best way to get an insight of what impact AI is currently having at companies. And if there's one thing that I want people to take away from this video, is not to be scared of AI taking away your job, but actually being left behind by not developing skills that are now becoming the new standard. And this has existed historically. People that might be stuck doing password resets and never bothered to think about automating things might be struggling in certain first line support roles that is getting automated. AI has just rapidly accelerated things, but the tech industry has always been changing and developing. It's always favored the people that are at the forefront of technology, constantly pushing boundaries and developing, versus those that are stuck doing the same thing day in, day out. Remember, someone could have 20 years of 1 year of experience where they've done the exact same thing for 20 years, whereas someone could actually have 3 years of experience and it actually means 3 years because they have done new things each year. Don't be that legacy engineer that gets left behind because they're afraid of change.